Alright, hello everyone. Welcome to my tutorial. I'm going to be showing how to use widget buttons to create like a D-pad, like on the original Nintendo you have up, down, left, right. Well, we can do that to control a custom character. Um, so we'll go ahead and do that. Let's name our thing here. D-pad tutorial, and we'll just do a blank project because we're gonna create everything ourselves. So go ahead and create that. Don't worry about that, that's just my thing here. Okay, so first things first, let's create some folders. So right click, go to new folders. Let's make one called blueprints, and I like changing the color of mine. I want this guy to be blue. And new folder, widgets, and I like my widget folder to be red. And maps. This isn't necessary, I just like doing it. And one more for meshes. Or this could be sprites or whatever. Basically, just the character that you want to bring into the level. Okay, so we're going to need 3 blueprints. Or no, we'll stick with 2. Right click, blueprint class. Let's create a character. And name this top player character. You can name it whatever you want, but that's just what I wanted to name it. Blueprint class, game mode, and we'll name it top game mode. Save all, save selected. Double click in your game mode so it opens up, and over by here, the default pawn class, just change that to the top player character. Compile, save, and close. Alright, so I'll go into meshes, import. I should have mentioned this before, if you want to um, add the starter content to your package, you might want to do that. If not, this is where you want to import um, whatever mesh or textures or whatever, like something like that for your character. I personally just have a um, cube that I'm going to be bringing in. It's just a very basic cube, nothing special about it. Um, I just like starting with fresh projects. That's all. So okay, so go back to blueprints, open the character up, and I'm gonna add a static mesh. I don't really care what it's called. Bam, file save, and that is good for now. So we'll go into our widgets, right click, user interface, widget blueprint, and we'll name this D-pad widget. Okay, so this is pretty easy. We'll open our panels here, and first we want to start off with a vertical box. Now, if you look at a D-pad, it has, the up arrow in the center, and then the 2 on either side, and then 1 on the bottom. So we're going to kind of replicate that here. So first, what we'll want is a button in the vertical box with text on it, and then we'll want a horizontal box inside the vertical box, a button with text. Do the spacers after. So let's do another button, text, and then a button in the vertical box again with text on that button. So now go all the way down to primitive, and we're going to add some spacers. So I'll add a spacer in between the top button and the horizontal box. Put another spacer inside the horizontal box, put it between those buttons. And another one right there. So click the top and the bottom ones, and we want the size to be in the y-axis. So let's do like 30. Let's make it a big gap. And by the way, click on the vertical box and click size to content so we can see what we're doing. And then the middle one, let's do, oh, I'm sorry, not in the y. We want to do it in the x, 30. Alright, so first button is going to be our up button. And we'll just name this guy up. And then grab your up button and do it in the center like this so it's centered out. Next, we're going to do our left button. Let's name it left. Same thing here with the right button. Right, 10. Grab it. Okay, right. And then the last one are down btn. Do the text as down. Oh, and grab your down button and just center it up. Okay, so grab all your texts and let's boost the font size up. Because this is going to be from mobile, I want this to be pretty big so it's easy to click on. Compile. Now we'll grab our vertical box here and we'll set the anchor point to the bottom corner here and then click this little arrow there. So we're going to set this guy to negative 600? No, not too far. Negative 400. Negative 400 works, and let's try 200 there. Okay, yeah, that works. Just play with it and see where you want your buttons to be set at. So we'll go into graph. We don't need either of these, so go ahead and delete those. What we want to do is create one variable. Call this one player. Set the variable type as your top player character as a reference. Click editable and expose on spawn. Compile, save. Now to set this up just ahead of time, I want to do this for each of the buttons. So on pressed, up button, on released, and we'll just do it one at a time so it's a little bit easier. We'll drag our player out, get, and just set that there for now. Compile, save. Now you want to open up your level blueprint, and we don't need event tick in here. Let me just get rid of that. Drag off event begin play, and we want to cast to top player character. And because it's a player character, we want to get player character because that's the parent of this blueprint is the character. If we made it a pawn, then we get player pawn. Create widget. Select. Oh, and notice that it just says owning player here. But as soon as we click that, it has the player right there. And the reason for that is because we clicked editable and expose on spawn. So we want to add to viewport. And now what we want to do, actually, let's go ahead and sequence this. And then get player controller. Just click in any empty space you got and get player controller, drag off, show mouse cursor. You want to set it. set that to true. Okay, so we casting to the player character, creating the widget, adding that widget to the viewport, and setting it so we can see the mouse cursor on play, which is good. So now let's go back to our character and set up our movement. So we don't need either of these. And what we do need is event tick. Oh, I'm sorry, not event tick. We need a sequence. And this sequence is going to need 4 pins. So 4 pins there. And we also need 4 variables. So okay, of type Boolean, we'll do this one called is up. What are you doing? That's so weird. Is down. I don't know why it keeps doing that, but that's weird. Is right. Is left. Okay, so we got our variables. And now let's set them up. So we'll branch. We'll grab our is up. And if is up is true, add movement input. We'll set the scale to 600. Not that much, just 600. And now we got to get the world direction. So what we want to do is right click, get control rotation. Now we want to break this rotator. Break rotator. And we want to get the yaw of that. So we want to make rotator. And if you hold control and click, you could drag it down. And let's move these guys. Just like right here. We want to drag up and get forward vector. Drag this guy up, put it there. Okay. There's that. So let's pretty much do all of that again. Branch is down. And true. Add movement input. Forward vector. World direction. But this time we want to do negative 600. File, save. Copy. Control W and Control W. Okay, so we want to do is right and is left. And there. That in there. And then for this one, we want to drag off and get right vector. Plug this guy in the world direction on these. Make sure that we put just 600 on this one, on the right, and negative 600 on the left. That's very important that we do that. So compile, save, and then go back to our D-pad widget. Grab is up. Oh, no, sorry. My delete key is not working. Set is up. Okay, we'll set this to true. So on pressed is up is true. On released is up is false. And then we'll do the same thing with the down. And I'm just gonna copy that just so we don't have a big mess. True. Right button. Right button. And I'm just gonna copy this guy. Set is right. File save. And left button pressed. Left button. There we go. Oh, copy this guy again. Set is left. Make sure that's true. Set is left. False. Compile save. Let's make sure all is well in the world. That all looks good. Hit Control S. Save this map as test map. Okay, so now what we want to do is, oh, actually, first off, we want to tell the game to look at top game mode. Basically, I did that. You go to Blueprints, Project Settings, select Game Mode Class, Top Game Mode. And then once you do that, it should set whatever you had set in the game mode up. So I'll Control S that. Hit play. And our cube is moving. But we can't actually see it. So let's set up a camera, like a top camera looking down on it. So we'll go to camera, drag this guy out, and we'll click this little pin here so it stays. Degree that. Bear with me 1 second. I'm just gonna clear up some room so my keyboard sensor reads up. Over this way a little bit. Up over. Okay, so if you open Level Blueprint and right click and create reference for your camera. For some reason my thing is pulling everything off, so what you want to type in is view blend over in the palette. For some reason it doesn't show up there, so set view target blend is what we want. New view target is the camera actor. Get player controller is the target. We'll plug that in there. Save. Editor. And there we go. Now we have a top view. We can move our player around here. And it works. This would also work similar. If you wanted a fire button here, let's set that up real quick. Let's set up a fire button. That'd be kind of cool, wouldn't it? So I'm going to create another. Let's just do a vertical box. Why not? Drop that in the canvas panel. And I want a button in there with text on that button. Let's call it Fire BTN. Call it text. Fire! There we go. Okay. Set that to like 60. Why not? Grab that vertical box, size to content. Anchors. Let's do the opposite corner down here. so negative 150, negative 200, and negative, not too much, negative 300. And I want it up more, so negative 300. Now I want it over more. Sorry. Pickiness. Okay. File save. Now let's grab the fire button, and we're just going to do an on-click here because we don't have to worry about constantly doing it. We just want to fire the event once. So let's get into our player here, and we'll do custom event. Oh nope, don't want that one. Add custom event. We'll call this one fire. And just for the sake of finishing it up, let's grab our player here, drag off, call fire, and plug it in. Okay, and instead of setting it, I don't really want to set up the logic for this, so I'm just going to put a print string just to show that it is in fact working. Do this, let's do red. Duration, let's change the duration to like 5 seconds. Compile, save, and play. Around. Fire, it is calling the event. So all you would have to do is spawn the projectile at the location and set up the projectile shooting forward, and that's all you would really need to do. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and stay tuned to my channel for more tutorials. Thanks.